Hello guys, we're at part 8 of 10 in our Mediterranean playlist. These last 3 parts are a little bit different. They're less typical Mediterranean types on account of different admixtures. So this one's going to be the Gypsies, dark-skinned Mediterraneans of Arabia and Arabian Veddoids. So the first example we have here is a nomadic Serbian Gypsy, and he states that he's apparently relatively pure. You can see from his skull he's a very good example of the Mediterranean type. How much of this is the original North Indian Mediterranean and how much of it is from a normalized admixture from Europe, can't say exactly without looking at the genetics. I will talk about the genetics of the Gypsy population at some point. It's very interesting, and the variation between groups is almost as interesting as their elements in general. Here's another example, and this example, he says, may be representative of a Gypsy prototype. So you can see the skull's a little bit different here, a little bit wider, which tends to be the case in Gypsies from my own observations of their types. And he's from the Cooper family, and they say some of the Cooper and the Stanley families of the English Gypsies have blue eyes, but this fellow has dark features. And now we move on from the Gypsies to a darker type of Arabia and Iraq, the coasts of Arabia and Iraq. It says this is much older in Arabia than the presence of Gypsies in Europe. This is a Kuwaiti sailor, so you can see he's got a fairly typical Mediterranean skull, but he's much darker than the mean in the area. Now we move to a Veddoid, and this fellow is from the South Arabian Veddoid population, who in their upper strata have a Mediterranean or Mediterranean admixed type, and in the lower strata have this mostly Australoid type. As you can see, this guy is largely Australoid. It's a little bit of influence in his features and lighter skin. So these are similar to the Tamils of Sri Lanka and southeastern India, but it's a population that exists within Arabia. So here's another example of the type, and this one you can see is much more Mediterranean influenced. He calls it a coarse type of Hadramuti. So again, southern Arabia. And now we move to the other side of Arabia, to the north, and this is another example of the Ruwala Bedawi. I showed another Ruwala Bedouin before in the Mediterranean examples. This one, he says, shows Veddoid admixtures. You can see the Veddoid features there. And it also says that the incipient blondism, so the slightly lighter shades of brunette hair that usually exist among Mediterraneans, don't exist in the populations that have this element in their admixture.